Hello everyone, how you doing? Good, I hope. So, it's been roughly a month since Sonic Frontiers The Final Horizon has come out, which is about the perfect amount of time for my brain to truly process what raw hype I had just witnessed. Like, slight spoilers for this very video. I liked The Final Horizon. I liked it a lot. It was really sick. So, with that being said, let's talk things I liked, disliked, and how accurate I was with my previous Sonic video. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, let's get this out of the way first. This entire video will be spoilers. So if you haven't beaten Final Horizon yet, go and do that right this second. Or don't, that's up to you. First, I'll ease you all into it by starting with some of the cons I had before I pop off with my pros. First up, I wasn't a huge fan of the execution of some of the tower challenges. I feel like they could have been a bit more unique with some of them, but I did enjoy the difficulty of climbing the towers themselves. The only other things I didn't like are very minor nitpicks, like for example, Knuckles felt very rough to play in certain areas. Like I feel like his gliding could have been tweaked a bit more to be a little smoother, but that also could just be a skill issue, I might just suck. But other than stuff like that, that's all the cons I could think of, honestly. Personally, on my end, I don't share a lot of the critique that I've seen other creators talk about. I was a huge fan of the sudden difficulty spike in King Coco's challenge, even if it was absolutely hell to complete. And I enjoyed the open zone aspects too. So with that, let's jump into my pros. To start it off easy, I want to talk about the multiple playable characters. It felt so good to place Knuckles, Tails, and Amy after so many years. Tails was probably my personal favorite to play, but I did enjoy my time playing as Knuckles and Amy too. Some of those open zone areas were really easy to cheese though. And most of the new cyberspace levels were cool too, but the highlight of the gameplay was easily playing as the new characters. Like, playing as Tails with the Cyclone just kinda hit me in my nostalgic bone, you know? Like, it just felt so good to see him in that state again, especially after Sonic Forces. If you know, you know. But anyway, let's get into what I imagine most of you want to hear me talk about, the new Supreme fight. By the gods, the Supreme fight was actually made into a good fight. I loved pretty much everything about it. The gameplay, presentation, music, it was all perfectly designed to appease me. It's like Sega saw, hey, we need to appease this one random nerd on the internet. Do it. And they did. It was perfect. My only issue was those trees. If you know what I mean, you know. But that's pretty much it. The entire fight was hype. The fact Sonic had I had to go all out, and then turned blue, and then got shot out of a giant gun that pierced the moon and a giant mech. It was sick. It was hype. I was popping off left and right during that moment. I wish I streamed it, honestly. That would have been amazing. Like, all I could think of during this moment was, the Sonic I love is back. This is just peak. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the music. I didn't mention it during the last video, but I loved the OST of Frontiers, and this only elevated it. Tomoya Otani really knocked it out of the park with the expansion. The Kel and Quinn version of I'm Here fit the new fight perfectly, I was vibing to the vocal themes for each character during their sections, and most of all, the vocal version of I'm With You, which is the end's boss theme, that played during the credits might be one of my most listened to tracks of the year. It's honestly rivaling Find Your Flame, which, if it wasn't obvious from my intro, is my favorite Sonic Frontier song. Like, the second my brain connected that this is the end's theme, but with, like, lyrics, I got chills. And, like, don't even get me started on the lyrics themselves. The fact it mirrored Dear Father as a more good-ending version of the same song really hit me in the core, you know? It was just perfect. And now for the last part of the video, how accurate was I? Aside from the King Coco boss rush, I really didn't get anything close. It wasn't accurate at all. And that's good, because Sonic Team did infinitely better than I did. Like, it's not even close. It was perfect. Honestly, the second Sonic was shot out of a gun, the moment I realized, yep, this is sicker than anything I could have come up with. And besides, I'm just some nerd on the internet. Of course they were gonna make something better. And that's pretty much my thoughts on Final Horizons. This was probably a shorter video than what most expected, but I am working on another video while I was writing this one, so it is what it is. And I'll probably talk more about Final Horizons in some other video, as I've got a lot of Sonic concept video ideas rattling around in my skull, so... But yeah, I wanted to make this as kind of like an epilogue to the boss fix video I did, and yeah. And with that, I want to ask, what would you have fixed about Update 3? Is there anything you didn't like? What did you like? I'd love to talk more about that in the comments with you. Oh, And one more thing. The fact Metal Sonic is still not an alternate costume is killing me. Please, Sega, let me play as Metal.